So here we are. Welcome. We are here to talk a little bit about OneFreePlanet. This is our first episode of who knows what this is going to be.
We don't know.
But we're here to just get started. You know, a lot of us are just here to discover what comes through us when we just get started. And we had a feeling that we wanted to make some videos and connect with whomever is joining us in the OneFreePlanet movement. And so here we are. We're getting started. I'm Sarah Andrews.
And I am David Collister.
And we're just going to get into a conversation today that kind of delves into what this is all about, at least from where we stand right now in the beginning of it all. And the why behind it, and really, you know, the heart of what OneFreePlanet is. And this, you know, this being your vision for a really long time, at least, you know, the kind of seed of it, I think maybe starting with a little bit of the story. I mean, I know it's a long history that you've had for like over 30 years with this thing, but kind of start us off with the very core of what OneFreePlanet is.
Okay, so OneFreePlanet is primarily designed to put an end to scarcity for the conscious community. And where we're starting in our conscious community, the people that we want to prosper are people who are they have a message to bring to the larger community, the conscious community, or to the world. And so we're starting with the creatives and the intuitives and people that have content to provide through our publishing platform. But the purpose of OneFreePlanet is to make love the most important thing on the planet. Everybody in the conscious community already says that. But it doesn't necessarily mean the business community or the government or anybody, any big entities would say, oh yeah, love is cool, but it's like, okay, let's get to the real stuff.
There's like love and then business, right?
Yeah, we want to shift that. We want to integrate love into the mix. We want to measure acts of love, acts of kindness. We want to ask our community to help us define what is a conscious organization. What do they want from a company? Like, these are the kinds of things that we want to define and build into the marketplace some understanding of how important love really is, because we believe that love is the most powerful force on the planet. And it's our goal, one, to vet that in some sort of modern technological way, vet that, and shift the consciousness of the planet around income to a more conscious way, so that we don't have the starving artists. We don't have people who have a mission mindset and a mission heart always end up being the people that are broke. Like, it doesn't, well, not always, but a lot of times. They just predominantly, there's a reason why the starving artist phrase exists, because it is common. And we want to fix that. And we not only want to, we have strategies to fix that. So that's kind of the purpose.
Yeah, so really, like, not only did I hear two things in that, like, kind of real time or real world, like, measurements of love, which is an interesting concept, and also then, like, for the purpose of aligning material things in the world, you know, like the way that we experience abundance with, you know, expressing love, like actually aligning the way that we receive abundance with our expression of that, basically. Exactly. Because what's been happening, I see all the time, is people are like more and more coming from their heart, you know, like really expressing love in lots of different ways through their businesses, but trying to fit into a framework business-wise and, you know, commerce-wise that is still in like this old world of not love, basically. Like, you know, it's rooted in competition, which ultimately is fear, you know. If you think that there's not enough, you're going to be competing against each other, and not enough is that lack that we're, you know, talking about ending. So, two different parts of it.
Yeah, I like what you said about lack. We're both coaches. We've been at it a long time. One of the things that most coaches deal with when they're dealing with conscious, you know, heart-centered people and artists and intuitives, especially artists and intuitives, creatives and intuitives, is they get into this whole dialogue about lack. And they presuppose that the way to remedy the situation in a person's life who is an artist, who is a mission-minded person, a relief-minded person, they presuppose, because of the way things are, that this person has a problem with lack. Or maybe the right word isn't problem. They are somehow in resistance to abundance. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is the economic system in which we operate is not conducive to people who operate out of their heart. And so you're battling this multi-thousand year system that's designed for kings and warlords and politicians and greedy people to basic bullies, marketplace bullies, to get in and dominate. And this system that we exist in is not designed for us. It's not designed for the creatives and the intuitives. And what we're creating is an entire economy complete with currencies and the way people interact with one another. And we want to build this billion-member tribe that says, yeah, we want to do that. We want to create a new way of looking at commerce and make it conducive to people who are heart-centered. Because in order to get love to be fully substantiated as a metric in the marketplace, which this is not something we're doing alone. Like, this is something that's talked about in business circles right now, because branding is all about developing trust right now.
Right.
It used to be create a great look, a great slogan, a great commercial, and you do a lot of business. And now people are saying, we see through that bullshit. We're not interested in that. What we want is, we want to know, what kind of company are you? What kind of heart do you have? Right? So we're already seeing this shift in the marketplace. The problem, and I've been in business for a long time, and my job has been for a long time growing organizations and growing tribes, large tribes. And what I've always seen, good-natured, good-spirited movements rise up that are beautiful. Like, they really want to do something great, but the economics are so out of whack that the thing dies, right? Great messages. The best songs in the world will not be played on the radio. The best teachings will not be in the books that are for sale and sell the most books.
Not always.
Not always, but.
Yeah, there was something that I just caught there and then I lost it.
Take your time.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. Well, just what are you feeling?
Excited about the possibility in this, because I personally feel the frustration of so many entrepreneurs that I know, and especially solopreneurs, people who have found this thing that they're really passionate to share, and they want to devote all of their time and energy to it. And then they get caught up in all the marketing junk that's out there about how to do it, and all of these things that I'm not going to say they don't work, we're not saying this is the one right way to be in business.
Right.
It's just that it's, in my experience, possibly the most fulfilling way to be in business, because when you are fully living in your heart, living from your heart, sharing that with other people, what better, what better way to live and to offer the most, how do I say this? Offer the most generous part of yourself, or all of you, to the world, and then fit into a system like what we're building that will also reflect that back to you, where it's not such a struggle. I feel like I got a little lost in that, but the point is that what I envision with this, and I know you share this, is that we can create not only, there's always the spiritual evolution part of this, right? You can exist in the current marketplace and still get to a place of abundance and understand things about yourself within the current marketplace. And it can all be great for our growth. Everything can be an opportunity, but also, I think this is the point I lost before, why not also support ourselves with a system that even engenders that even more in a practical way? Rather than all of these solopreneurs trying to do it on their own and learn all these lessons and in a way push without trying to push to this place of abundance, let's just create a space where that's just so much easier, and the space itself is aligned with what we want to express and who we want to be.
So
it's kind of build the nest for the thing that you want to nurture.
That's beautiful. I like that. So basically what we're doing is we're creating a tribe. We believe, as you probably do, that there's a lot more love and consciousness out there than we anticipate. I remember one time you were talking about bumping into Uber drivers and elevator operators and whatever that are super conscious people, but you wouldn't have known it by looking at the job description, right? Or not that you were being, biased against it, but it's just bumping into all these people and the way they present themselves in their jobs. How would you know that they're conscious? How would you know to even talk to them about coaching or something. And so what we want to create is a conscious marketplace that's getting better and better and better at being conscious. Like we are as a tribe working and playing and leaning into and meditating into a deeper sense of being more loving people. If you had a large group of people like that, and you are a conscious enterprise, whether you're a solo entrepreneur or emerging kind of organization, wouldn't it be great if you had a place that you could go to where they're already trained and think about and consumed by making the world a better place, and they want to hear about your message. They want to hear about your coaching or your mission or whatever it is. And you don't have to kind of say, okay, how do I find those people? Right now in marketing, you got to say, how do I find those people? Right? And then you've got to say, how do I talk to them? We don't have anything to connect us other than that. So I've got to talk in a way that, but what if you have a community that everybody's looking past the details and saying, look, if you're talking to us, you're a conscious enterprise. We're going to give you that benefit of the doubt. Yeah. And then we look at your scorecard, we look at your profile for your organization, and we see, oh, here's what you're up to, and here's your reviews, and here's
the metrics that we're talking about.
The metrics, right? That the feedback that you're getting is saying to anybody looking that this person is really, or this organization is really acting like a conscious person. We can't see inside their heart, but the heart is like a tree, and the tree produces fruit. And you can look at the actions and the way that people behave in the world and kind of tell what's inside the heart. You might not know the heart, but you get a good idea from the fruit of the tree, what kind of a tree it is. Yeah. And so what if you had a community, a 1 billion member tribe, that you could market your conscious content to, or your service, or whatever it is? Now you just erase like maybe 80% of the workload in targeting the marketing.
I would say it's not just that, because there are plenty of people, I know there are going to be some people watching this who are like, well, I already have a community, and it's still a struggle. For me, what's different about what we're building is, and maybe this exists, I'm not saying like we're the only ones, but I think the component of it that is actually, like, you have people around you that are actually like on your team. Not only like rah, you're great, but like actually involved in what you're creating and promoting. That's a different level, because I hear people all the time who are trying to create something on their own and they feel like they're all alone. Like, it's just me. Yeah, that's great. Like, these other organizations have a team, but like, it's just me. Well, this is like a place where you actually would feel more of that team dynamic, or at least there's the potential to, if you're a content creator within this this network. You would actually be interacting with people who might be promoting your services for you, and and it's a win-win situation because they're getting an affiliate kind of compensation for it. So there's a team aspect to it that,
let's talk about that
doesn't actually exist in most groups that I know of, unless it's maybe an affiliate kind of network.
You think this would be a good time to talk about our agile philosophy and methodology?
Yeah, it's coming up. It's always a good time.
Okay, so I love that about her. Okay, so what a lot of people outside of the tech industry don't understand about these tech companies like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, these companies, one of the things that made them scale and get so big so quickly, when they had competitors that had similar offerings, like, so their offering wasn't that different than like MySpace and Facebook. They both were social networks, right? They both connected people. Facebook came in and just blew that right out of the water. One of the things that's happened in the last 20 years is the emergence of this philosophy called Agile. And it is just an idea. It's not a method. There are methods born of Agile. But what these companies do, they have a similar philosophy about how they relate with one another within their community. So I'm going to use Google as an example. There are books being written now about these companies and their management philosophies. I consume these like popcorn. And so, for example, let's say you're fresh out of college and you're getting a job at Google doing whatever it is you do best. They've hired you to be a part of a team. You're going to be put into a team of about 4 to 6 people, maybe 3 to 7 at the outer limits of minimal and maximum, no more than that. And within that team, they foster this environment that's built upon it's built on transparency,
Total transparency.
total transparency. Like you
Not
can't.
like we're going to be transparent, but we're not going to really say what we're thinking.
Oh no! If you think something, you have to say it in the meeting with your team.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. You have to be honest about it. You have to be, congruent and say what you really feel. And then there's radical transparency, radical honesty. The difference between them is honesty is that I'm expressing, like I can be honest and not be transparent. If you ask me something, I may say, if I'm an honest person, I may say, I would rather not talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right?
Good distinction.
So to be honest, but if you ask me and I tell you, you can depend that I will be honest. You know me as that kind of person. But to be transparent and honest means you're not going to have to ask me what I really think. Mm-hmm. It's my responsibility to tell you what I really feel. Like there's no hiding feelings about and thoughts and ideas about something. And then so there's radical transparency, radical honesty, radical collaboration. By radical collaboration, there's a method that these organizations find to work with one another that on average makes people within that organization 400% more productive. And they have more fun, they have more autonomy, they have a sense of ownership, they build deeper bonds with their coworkers, they feel connected to them. So inside these companies, it's a real tribe because of this radical collaboration. And then lastly, the thing that's important is radical open-mindedness. So that means I can be transparent, meaning I'll tell you anything that I feel about this thing that we're discussing. Honest, I will never lie to you about it. I'll tell you everything. I'll collaborate with you. We have a way that we work with one another. But open-mindedness means a lot of times when you're dealing with really strong people that are really gifted in their area, like they're not so open-minded. They're not so interested in you challenging their philosophy or their ideology. The idea behind this agile philosophy is to create what's called an idea meritocracy, meaning that the best ideas for that particular thing that you're building or creating, the best ideas are what they want. Mm-hmm. They don't want the ideas from the boss necessarily or from the brand new person. They want the best idea, and that's why they assemble these teams, is to find out what is the best approach to get this done. And their radical collaboration system makes people 400% more productive, and they have almost no oversight. Like there's no bosses bashing them over the head saying, work faster, work faster. Like it's the opposite. They're operating out of their heart and what they love. And because of that, people thrive and act and think differently. Mm-hmm. And so this was developed back in 1998. A group of the leading technologists got together and saw how these companies were growing faster than any other company in the history of the planet have ever grown. Like you see Google, 1998 get started, and within 5 years, they're one of the biggest companies in the world. And it would normally take a company maybe 100 years to get that big and have that kind of influence. And so what these technologists who are in charge of running these companies and guiding them in their development said, we've got to find better ways of working with one another that are scalable, because these old systems where you have a boss and the boss has a boss and that boss has a boss, all the way, this hierarchical thing that goes way up the ladder. And in those meetings, you're told, I'm not interested in your ideas. I'm interested in you getting my ideas done. That's kind of the hierarchical, that's called a top-down management system.
There's bottlenecks in that. It slows things down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean,
it constricts creativity.
Especially in the tech world where things, are evolving so quickly. Like you can't have that kind of bottleneck, slow approach.
No, you can't, because somebody else is going to move faster than you. Mm-hmm. So not only did these companies strive for great ideas, the best ideas as quickly as possible, but they want to get them out to the marketplace as quick as possible so that they have first mover advantage with whatever they're creating. So anyways, what most people don't know is that what really has made these particular companies get big wasn't the fact that their ideas were the best. It was how they were able to move so quickly and so fluidly. And when they found a problem, they were so quick to fix it. Whereas in most companies before Agile, it might have taken 6 months to a year to get something fixed. These companies will fix it in a day or a week or a month. Like they are just that fast. So what we're doing is we're taking this agile philosophy and this agile methodology and we're bringing it to the conscious marketplace. We want to get them working together in small groups. So maybe if we're working with a set of coaches, life coaches, we say, great, let's get 5 or 6 of you together and we're going to put you in an agile environment where you're going to help each other grow your business. You're going to collaborate rather than compete. You're going to cross promote one another. So if you each had an average Facebook group of 3,000 people, let's say, and there's 5 of you, you now have 15,000 people that you can market to, and you're helping each other grow, and you're, rather than self-promotion, which is kind of backwards to the conscious community, like,
Yeah, right.
like, you know, these coaches, I feel for them. I really feel for them. They promote themselves so much, and it's kind of like, okay, here's another one next. I don't even want to look at that ad. It's like, okay, another one. You're just trying to get me to talk on your Facebook feed so that you can prospect me, right? You want to send me something. And people have especially the millennials have a good bullshit meter.
Oh,
they
totally,
can feel it.
Yeah.
And so what if you were in an environment where maybe it's not all the same kind of people, but some sort of collaborative team where you have supportive skill sets where you can help each other out, but you're promoting to one another. So in other words, I'm promoting Sarah. Most conscious people find it easier to promote somebody else they believe in than themselves, because that's the heart of a giving person. They want to give. They don't want to just take. And they feel like when they're self-promoting, they're taking and not giving. And so what if you had a team of 4 or 5 people that were promoting you to their large circle of friends, and you're doing the same with them? Well, you just maybe made your marketing 5 times better just by collaborating. And then if you add agile methodologies and add state-of-the-art kind of marketing strategies, who knows what the limits are, but we're going to find out. We don't know, but it's going to be good.
There are no limits.
There are no limits.
But the other thing that comes up for me in, you know, talking about that, it's not only about like the cross promotion, you know, who knows what will emerge out of, you know, it's kind of a small mastermind really, or it could be. I mean, it's not there's no one way to do this really. It's just these are the possibilities within this network that we can see right now. Is, you know, what if you had a group of 5 or 6 of you and you had like this mastermind thing and you all have kind of similar threads in what you do, like you might end up collaborating with a couple people and like building a new group program or like, you know, building a new product or whatever. So there's that too. And it's kind of like when you're, you know, when you're doing something together like that, there's a synergy that also happens that, you know, that can create even a new audience or, you know, I feel like there's just so much here that's not about, okay, what's a new way to promote each other, but it's more about like, what's the way to be so fully connected to what you're about and in connection with other people around that it just happens. Like there's just a magnetism that happens when you're able to be so fully aligned in the economic side as well as like the why and, you know, all the internal stuff that goes along with this too. When all of that gets so aligned, I just feel like there's so much possibility there. You know, like it just opens up the floodgates for all kinds of things, you know? And so I love the idea of like having this, you know, to be able to build the nest for that, you know, rather than try to continue to do this in ways and groups, whatever, within this system that doesn't fully support that.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the beautiful things about the agile process, which we probably won't get into on this call or on this video, one of the beautiful things about it is how it does get people working together and innovation soars. And so here's the other part of this. So it's not just about your nest. It's that you're aligned with hundreds or thousands or how many ever people are involved and how many of these groups are working together. And they're not permanently working together. They may work together on a particular project and then they work with another group. Let's say you've got a group of coaches working together and they're cross-promoting and finding out how they can better support one another. Another big thing before I go into that is just one of the most detrimental things for an entrepreneur is to be alone.
Oh, I know.
And
it's so hard.
It's so hard.
And I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it gets really lonely sometimes.
It's very lonely and you get stuck a lot, or you going to get lost in the options. Like, what do I do today? I don't know what to do. Well, working in these small groups keeps you from ever feeling like you're alone, right? And So now let's step back from that and let's look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is there are all these teams working together in their groups, and they want to help you grow. There, we actually have an economic system that if other people help you sell your coaching, for example, then they would share in the revenue that comes from that. And or if you write a book, or we have what we call agile series that are our version of a book. They're not books. It's a learning environment where you would take your clients or the people learning your subject, and the learners themselves, would learn this in an agile environment in a small group, and they help each other make sure that they're activating this stuff, taking a lot of the hands-on, detail-oriented work off of the coaches. Same questions, same answers over and over and over again. You don't deal with that. In the group, they discuss these things, and they integrate your ideas into their lives using our agile system, and we've got an app for that. But more importantly, well, in addition to that, not more importantly, but in addition to that, we have this economic system that we're putting together that rewards people, even financially, for helping people within our tribe prosper. And so that means you have people that are aligned with your economic vision for your life. If you want to be full-time and not spare time, part-time, or always struggling with half the money that you need or want, you will have not just a small group of people helping you, but you may have 1,000 people helping you promote your business. And they want to do this because they're conscious people. They want to get messages like yours out there. And when they do, you're saying, hey, I'll give you whatever. If you sell, like, say, a $10,000 coaching 6-month contract to somebody, you might say, hey, I'm going to give back a certain percentage of that to the community. Whoever sells it makes some money from it. Whoever gets me the client makes some money from it. It's a whole system. I'm not going to get into that. But basically, we've got this, what's it called again? I forget things a lot. What's the system?
Agile?
No. The type of system where if somebody recommends you, it's online.
Oh, like affiliate?
An affiliate. Yeah, it's an affiliate program, but it's designed to work only within our community.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit different from, I haven't done a lot of affiliate stuff, but it seems a little bit different from your typical affiliate program.
It is. So you get these, you may have 1,000 people trying to help you grow your consulting practice or your teaching practice or your yoga studio, whatever it is. Like, you might get a lot of people helping you. And so one of the challenges that I see conscious people who are authors and trainers and coaches and things like that, one of the challenges they get into, Robert Kiyosaki has what's called the cash flow quadrant. And you've got employees, you've got solo entrepreneurs, self-employed people, then you've got big business, and then you've got investors. And the idea is to get away from the left side, which is the employee and the solo owner of a company, and get into the other side. Well, without having to take on responsibilities of a staff or investors, you can have the effect of having a big business. One of the worst places to be, he says, is being that solo entrepreneur. It's like being a slave to your business. So imagine a lot of coaches, for example, struggle because maybe they've got just enough clients or not quite enough, but they can make it. And they've only got 3 or 4 or 5 clients maybe that they're juggling in a week, or 10 or whatever it is, doesn't matter. If they've got a small number like that of 5 people or 6 people, and maybe they're making good money from each person, but if 1 or 2 of those people drop out, they went from being full-time coach to now half-time coach, half-time marketing person, because they better get their butt in gear and find some more clients, or they're not going to pay the rent or something, And so one of the challenges to being a solo entrepreneur is not having enough volume. Like if you've got 100 people and you're maybe just moving them through part group and part private coaching, and you lose 1 or 2 or 5 of those people, it's like it might sting a little bit, but it's not going to take half your income away. And so why not be that coach that's turning people away because you don't have more time, and maybe saying, hey, I'll just teach it to you in a series where you learn it in groups and I don't have to be involved in it, right? So you can scale. So it allows solo entrepreneurs, without giving up any ownership or any of their control like a business would have to do to take on partners. You have no loss of control, but you get to function in an environment that is very big business like. You've got marketing systems and trading systems and payment systems and all these things that take a lot of the weight that weighs down coaches and intuitives and artists who don't think in those kinds of realms. They're more heart-centered than head-centered. It basically takes that load off of them. And then that load is shared by the rest of the community and OneFreePlanet. And as a result, everybody shares in the success of everybody else.
Right, because on the other side of that is, a lot of people just naturally promote, their friends or like people they believe in, right? So
Yeah.
this would actually like compensate them for that.
Yes.
You would get a little bit of money if then whomever you shared that with, ends up signing up with that other person. So
And makes it easier for them to do that. So within our system, so you don't have to ask somebody. You don't have to say, will you please recommend me to your friends? I need a testimonial. In our Agile system, they will have one of their to-do lists will be send out, post on Facebook. If they can turn down any sticky note they want, sticky note, they don't know what that means. To-do item, a task in their learning system. It will say promote the author or the training system to their Facebook. It will ask them. Now they can say I don't want to, and they don't have to do anything. But when they're feeling good about what they're learning, they're excited, they've got friends, they don't feel alone, they're seeing other people struggling with the same struggles they have and moving past them and growing out of them. When they're feeling good, they want to tell people. The reason why happy clients don't do it is because it's confusing to them. That maybe they exist in a world where they don't sell anything. They don't promote stuff. They barely get on Facebook and say anything half the time unless it's a picture of their cat or something, But in our system, we make it easy for them to do it. We encourage them to do it. And you basically leverage the intelligence of the entire community about how to market yourself. So you're not self-dependent, you're tribe dependent. And that whole tribe is working together to find out how can we help a coach get her business started and up and get her full time. And the reason why we want people to succeed and prosper isn't so much about the money. It's what you said early on. It's in order for the world to be a more loving, conscious place, we've got to get the people who carry that message in their hearts. We've got to get you full time. Like we want you doing it 2,000 and 3,000 hours a year, not triangulating. A lot of people triangulate. Oh, I want to become a coach. So while I'm coaching, I'll wait tables over here. I'll go this way so that I can get here and be full time. And what happens is this starts competing with this, and this doesn't get the attention, and they never become maybe an expert coach, like they know they're capable of. They never find their true message or their vibe or their way of conveying their training because they haven't had the time to lean into it and feel it out and get responses from people. So in our environment, you get all of that. Like you got the tribe helping you with that, making you full time.
Critical mass, right?
I like that. Critical mass.
So
talk about that.
Well, if we're truly going to move into this more, I hate using the word conscious because like everybody's really conscious at some level, but like this, if we're really going to shift our world into a place that's more aligned with love and abundance as like a norm, the way that we all live, the place that we come from, then there's got to be like a critical mass of people like actually stepping into that full time. So that's really, I think, like the largest, vision we have for this.
That is the biggest vision.
Like to really get enough people in that space, living that way full time to actually shift the whole world. Like when you have that critical mass, then like the rest just kind of, it builds momentum. And so then the rest just kind of rolls out on its own, ideally. So yeah, that's kind of the largest possibility here. And it is very possible. It's just because the people are already doing it. It's just that they just need a little bit more like external support, and that also allows them to do more of the internal being side of it too. And it's like, we're moving there, but it could be faster. We could get there sooner. We could just be there now.
And people, so water boils at 212 degrees, in our part of the world, at least. It varies a little bit where you're at. Water boils at 212 degrees. I see a lot of people in their coaching or in their business at 210 degrees to 212, but not quite 212. And water just won't boil because you're close. It doesn't care if you're close. There are principles involved in whether it's actually going to boil or not boil. You have to get it to 212 degrees. And a lot of people's businesses linger at that 210 or 211 degrees. They've got all the pieces working. They're just pulling out their hair going, why isn't this working? Like, I see all these people saying they want this and I can't get them to say yes to me. It's like, what is wrong? There's nothing wrong. But I liken it to like when you go to the gym and you're lifting weights and you have a spotter and you've done several reps and you're tired and all the spotter does is touches that bar and you see it touch it and all of a sudden you have the strength to lift that thing up in the air, right? And they don't even really do anything. It's just like a finger touching it, right? Well, that's kind of what this tribe will do for those people.
Spotter.
If you are sitting on the edge of success, wouldn't it be great to have a whole bunch of other conscious people saying, we want you to make it, like it's our mission. We don't have a vision. We don't have a dream at OneFreePlanet other than whatever your dream is.
Right.
That's it. Like, Google has a vision that's not your vision, right? Everybody, they include what you want, but our whole vision is nothing but, what is your vision? If you're a conscious person, we are going to do everything we can to organize enough people around you to make you successful, because we know that for the world to be fully awakened, we've got to have the leaders, the thought leaders, rise up. And that requires artists, because so much of branding is about art. And I look at a lot of the stuff that's going out in terms of marketing. It's like, ooh, it could really use some help from some people that understand marketing. And it might look good, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, and that's just one example of a lot of what I see is that, there's a certain thing that generally, people going into these kinds of creative, heartfelt, whatever businesses, like there's like a thing that they really want to do and they don't like all the other stuff, but then, then there are other people who love that other thing that you don't want to do. So like, let's all come together and like all get to do the things that we really love to do and let go of the heavy stuff.
Right.
So that we can all like really step into what we're really great at and thrive from that place and allow other people to thrive with us. I think that true collaborative win-win-win piece, I get win-win-win from Kyle Cease, who I work with. But it is like, it's a win on all fronts when you are able to bring everybody together in their highest gifts and like what they really want to contribute to the world and like have them all like mixed together. Then everybody's like really lit up about what they're doing in the world. And the thing that you're doing is important, of course, but I think truly at the deepest level, it's really about who you're being in the world. And when you know that what you're doing is like the thing that you're really called to do and to be here in the world, then that's what we want in the world. I mean, if you're just living from that place, imagine if all of us lived from that place. I mean, like, there would be no violence, there would be no, there would be no poverty. Like all of these major issues that we've been like trying to fix for years would just naturally go away because we're all truly living in our highest selves. And that's like ultimately what we're going for. And
an economic system that's wrapped around that supports it financially. Like it's not something like in the current economic system, the way that money works, it's like there's so many potholes that you can fall into, right? And it wasn't designed for love. It was designed for power and strength and people who are competitive and can crush the competition. All this stuff that conscious people have a real difficult time doing, right? That's like, no, we don't want to hurt anybody. We want to grow everybody, right? So, but if you have an economic system that's tailored just for this type of commerce, and everybody that's a part of this comes into this to make the world a better place. So then you have the social entrepreneurs collaborating with the intuitives, the coaches, and people who have spiritual messages and thought leaders. You have the creatives, the editors and the writers and the video editors and the copy editors and all these people that can make your stuff phenomenal. And they go, wow, I want to work with your team. Can I help you grow your business? Can I share in the profit somehow, and you don't even have to sit there and negotiate with them. It's already defined in our system how they make money, and they go, wow, I don't have to even negotiate because I hate negotiation. I just want to do what I love, which is art or editing or creating, and I want to align with people like a conscious creator of content or whatever. Like, so we're getting the social entrepreneurs, the intuitives, and the creatives together, the heart-centered people. And we're gonna get them working together in a very productive, fun, autonomous, creative environment that moves stuff through quickly. So it's all about getting these people not just successful, but getting them successful. Like, how fast can we do this? Like, how quickly? And every day, the people in OneFreePlanet are thinking, how can we make it easier for them? How can we make it better for them? How can we make the training and the tools available to them quicker? Because we want you to be successful as quickly as possible, because the world's just got to change, and we're ready. Don't you think we're ready?
Oh, yeah,
the
beyond.
world feels ready for change. Like, I've never seen so much turmoil on a global level. It's ideal. It's right for conscious pickers to go pick the fruit from the tree. Let's go find these people, these conscious people, and let's turn the world into a loving place. That's kind of our goal. So, well, not kind of, it is our goal.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like we use the words like creative and artist and like conscious creative, all of those words. But really, I think, anybody who wants to come from that heart-centered place and like really follow their calling and express that in the world is, they belong here.
They not only belong, they can prosper too.
Everybody belongs.
Anybody
here,
can
really.
prosper and grow in this community. Yes.
Yeah. So I want to just acknowledge that, because I feel like we don't want to be a clique of any sort, because this really is truly like open up to, we want to open up this space to everybody thriving, because that's what it takes to build a critical mass, to shift the whole world. The whole world includes everybody. So it really is open to everybody getting into that place where they just feel like, this is what I'm here on this planet to do and to be, and get out of a place, any kind of place that feels like scarcity, like I'm not enough, or like, I don't have enough, or anything like that. So,
well, along those lines, yes, very much. Everybody that has a heart to love people and see the world better is gonna find a home here, right? So it's not just for the social entrepreneurs, creatives, and intuitives. Those are kind of the content providers. Those are the people that create the stuff that teaches us how to be more conscious and loving. Everybody can prosper. One of the things that we're working into all of this training that we're doing, and it's hard to explain without explaining our agile methodology.
Next video.
Yeah, next video. But one of the things, so even in a learning environment, people learn within a team, and they have tasks to do. They read a little bit, they watch a video, whatever it is, and they may have 100 tasks in a series, let's say, things that they will do, and then they work with one another to make sure they understand it and give the author feedback on how they're learning it. But the idea behind this is, not only are they going to learn, people will get in and learn stuff in this environment, but everybody's a part of one of these groups, content creators and or the people learning the information. And OneFreePlanet, it will encourage the content creators to put in what we call humanity points. Like things that people do that have nothing to do with growing their business. Like nothing to do,
well, they do.
Well, indirectly, but not directly. People could look and say, I don't see why we're asking people to go feed a homeless person today. Right? Like, what's that got to do with helping me learn, how to take care of my mother who's got dementia, and I'm trying to help her better. So we call them humanity points. The goal of these humanity tasks is to encourage people to spend at least 1 hour a week doing something for somebody that can't help themselves, whether it's take care of, women in some third world nation that die in childbirth. 1 out of 16 women die in childbirth in a lot of these countries, right?
You have the most random
backstory. Okay, well, I'm thinking about something specific right now. I talked with a content provider today. That was one of her stats, and I thought, man, that was so easily fixable. These people just need information. They need help. They don't need a lot, but we could save a lot of lives by helping people, and putting enough eyeballs on that situation sometimes is enough to fix it, even if they don't do anything. So we want to get people becoming very mindful about working into their daily life, or at least their weekly life, doing something for somebody that has nothing directly to do with making their day better, other than they'll feel good and they'll make the world a safer, better place. And we want to rid things like homelessness. We want to rid things like, there's so many people die today because they don't have clean water. That's stupid. Like, there is absolutely no reason for that to happen in this world. There's enough money and enough people. A lot of these organizations that want to fix these problems have enough money. What they don't have is enough people. Like, they need other people to get involved to make some of these things happen. And so we're constantly going to be inviting people in to doing humanity work, supporting a cause, doing something for at least 1 hour a week that makes the world a better place outside of the thing that they're learning. And ideally, what we would love to see happen is that they begin to really see the tie and the connection between doing that kind of thing and how their day plays out, how they feel, how their business grows, how people feel about that business that's encouraging that kind of humanity. We want to prove, again, that that kind of love, the highest form of love, helping somebody who can't help themselves, right? Doing that, how that actually grows a business. That's what we want to prove. So we're going to collect the data on our people, our OneFreePlanet people doing this, and be able to say to advertisers and people, look, this is what love does for your business. Yeah. Like, do you want to play this game, or do you want to keep playing this bully thing where you got to crush the competition, or do you want to play in a love environment, right? In order to change the world, we've got to prove that there's money in it, because all money is time, talent, and treasure stored. Like, the way you get money is your ideas, your time, your effort, and somebody gives you something in exchange for that. So you've got this time, talent, treasure reserve that you use to pay your bills, right? And when people start to see that that's what money really is, and they understand how love plays a role in that exchange, it begins to shift what people are willing to do with their money. So, like, for example, one of the things that we do in OneFreePlanet is everything is transparent within our organization.
As per the Agile philosophy,
we record every meeting we have as an executive team.
Sometimes we forget. But
well, sometimes we forget, and sometimes we run out of space in our phone or whatever, and we delete it. But for the most part, when we're not screwing things up,
total transparency.
Yeah. When we're not screwing something up that day, it's recorded. And everything we say, like my income and your income that comes from OneFreePlanet, will be transparent. Anybody can look and not only see how much we get paid, but what we're doing with our money from OneFreePlanet. It's all blockchain kind of, anyways, I don't want to get into all that. But we, as an organization, are committed to transparency. Why? Because without it, it's hard to trust somebody. Mm-hmm. When you don't know what they're doing, you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but you've seen so much stuff out there, and it's like, we don't want people to wonder, can I trust them? They'll look at our scorecard, they can trace how much money I'm making or how much a coach has made through OneFreePlanet, and they'll go, oh, look, they've also got this incredibly, on their scoreboard, they've got all these humanity points. Wow, this person is like, they're genuine. Like, I want to do business with that person because they are clearly, by the dashboard, they're walking the talk. And so we want to bring this out into the open and show how love affects money. And people are more likely to do business with you when they understand what you stand for. And a lot of times, they just don't know, which brand of consciousness are you, and can I trust it, and do you have the right jargon in your conversation? They're trying to measure you by the words you say. All these arbitrary ways of expressing your consciousness. Your tribe uses this word, leans, the thing like lean into. Like, I hear that word, the first few times I heard it, I thought, what the hell are they talking about? Yeah. I got to lean into somebody? No, you mean you're kind of moving into that. But that kind of jargon, people actually judge who they want to do business with a lot of times because of jargon like
Well,
that.
yeah, because like, do I vibe with this person or not? Are they speaking my language?
Do we come? Well, what if you could find out another way that's
Right.
not so much? So now we don't have these cliques, and that's one of the things that's dividing the world is this separatism. The separatism. We're like, there's us and them. We are this, they are not. They are this, we are not. Well, what we want to show is that across religious lines, across racial lines, across gender lines, across social lines, across geographical lines, that people at their core are a lot alike and they want the same things. They just have different words to describe it, different ways about going about it. And some of those you might not vibe with, but you might find 80% of it you do vibe with them. So if you had a different way of looking at measuring somebody, well, do I want that person as a coach? Okay, this person's a Christian and I'm a Muslim, or I'm a Jew and this person's a Muslim, but wow, they're really good at this, and this, right? These two communities that have been historically for 4,000 years battling one another might say, you know what? You've got some great coaching, some great training, and I want to support that. I want that for myself, and I don't care what God you pray to. I want your information in your heart. I see beauty in you, and I want that for myself. Can you help me? And then you get these people working together and not listening to the accent in their voice and not looking at listening for the jargon that they use and all these other indicators that are totally arbitrary and totally impractical in many ways. It's a lot of guesswork going on. It comes down to, no, let's find a better way that's more transparent, more open, more measurable. And I understand how it's being measured. So therefore, when you've got that measurement attached to your scorecard, I know what that means because I know how that's measured. And it's like, I believe in you. Can we be friends now? We were enemies yesterday because you're a part of the religious community and I'm an atheist, right? Or whatever the situation is. You know what? 80%, we get along.
Yeah.
Let's find out how we can make that better and stronger, that connection, and learn from one another. And pretty soon the 80% goes to 90, and from 90 to maybe 100%. Well, we might have different ways of looking at the world, but man, we have no problem loving one another, just like we're best of friends. Maybe we are the best of friends. How would that be? But in order for love to have a dominant place in the world, outside of the marketplace and in the marketplace, we have to get rid of these measurements that are all kind of fuzzy and based upon programming and patterns in our minds that have nothing to do with the truth about who that person really is and what they stand for. And that's part of why we're measuring all of this stuff, is so that we have a common language, so we can get rid of the barriers that separate us and find ways and look for excuses to connect with one another.
Yeah, and I'll just say, like, to take that one step further, is it's not necessarily that we need this system in order to get along with one another and like see the richness and the diversity. It's just that this will be a way for you to see within yourself, myself, all of ourselves, the misperceptions we have about other people, you know, that are based on some arbitrary old story or whatever that we have about like who that person must be because they have that religion or blah, blah, blah. Like these metrics, I mean, metrics are metrics, right? So it'll like be a way for you to let go of those things that aren't serving any of us, you know, that are separating us, and see, okay, like by the metrics, this is what I see about this person and their business, and you know, is that something that resonates with me or, you know, calls to me? And so I think, you know, there's a lot here in terms of what we're providing in structure that will allow each of us to see within ourselves the barriers that we are putting up to our own abundance, to other people, to whatever it is, you know, and work those out within ourselves, you know, and come to that more full kind of inner wealth, you know, that is really the end of scarcity.
Beautiful. I have nothing more to say about that.
I think we've given them enough in this first video.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll be doing another one at some point.
Yes, really soon. We'll do these regularly, just not always together. I happen to be in her beautiful home in Ventura, California, and I will be leaving in a few days. But yes, we want to do this on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's you know, there's so much to talk about within this, and it's an evolving conversation because it's an evolving organization, and So yeah, I think, to just continue to talk about it will not only like give us clarity, but like obviously, reach other people who are interested as well. So.
And we want your feedback. It's so important to us as an Agile organization. We want your feedback. We really listen to it. We are so open-minded, and we will take every idea and think about it, and if find any value in it for us and apply it. Like, we're really good about, I think our team is incredible at being open-minded, and we come from diverse backgrounds, religious, geographical. We got people all around the world that are a part of our team, and we get along so well. Like, we really get along so well, and we're moving stuff forward so quickly. And so we want your feedback. We want you to be part of OneFreePlanet. We want you. My vision, as I said, I've worked on this for since I was 20 years old. I'm 56 years old. So for 36 years, I've worked on this. I've gone to sleep thinking about it, and I woke up thinking about it. And it's always in the back of my mind, if not at the top of mine. And what I believe my mission has been is to provide just a skeleton, like just a structure that doesn't get in the way of the beauty of the community. The flesh and the hair and the eyes, all that stuff comes from you. What this thing really looks like and will look like, we don't know.
No.
Because until you're a part of it, you will fashion it. Because the whole organization is so so open-minded. If you have a great idea that can make the world a better place, it won't just be adopted by a few people. It will be adopted by the whole organization. We'll get it out there. We are looking for the genius in the conscious community. We want to elevate it because we believe that you have the answers. You have ideas that contribute to making the world a better place. And we want to hear from you. We want to elevate your genius and your place in the conscious community so that we can get this world loving one another a whole lot faster. So thank you for your feedback in advance, and thank you for your inquiries. If you want to find out more about us, email us at onefreeplanet@gmail.com, or you can go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/onefreeplanet, and let us know you want more information. We'll be happy to get it to you. We're a small organization right now, big visions, and we need you to help us make this dream of making your dreams come true.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.